Can I have the movie section, Papa? I want to see what's on tonight.
I can tell you what's on tonight. Homework.
Who needs it?
You do. I saw your report card. You almost failed geometry, young lady. I think it's about time you learned a triangle is not necessarily a situation involving two men and a girl.
Geometry's a big fat drag. Even Kathy's not good at it. She's a brain's brain. Right, Kath? Kathy, what are you reading? The Françoise Dupart book. You mean that 16-year-old French girl? She may only be 16, but she's really lived. No wonder it's #1 on the bestseller list.
Good book?
Marvelous, Uncle Martin. Pictures on the front of one of the magazines around here. Here it is. Imagine that. Only 16 years old and she's the toast of Paris. It says here, she's a symbol of teenage freedom over there. All the kids are copying her hairstyles. They even named a street after her. No wonder. She just sold her book to the movies for $200,000.
It's wonderful.
I hope they hurry and make the movie. What's the book about? About life, with a capital L, seen through the eyes of a teenage girl. Let me see that. My first dance was an unforgettable experience. Pierre was tall and shy and awkward. He had just learned to drive. It took all my powers of persuasion to get Father to allow Pierre to drive me to the dance. We got into the car and drove off. We had gone only a block when Pierre ran into a car that was turning the corner. In the other car was Father. Hey, that happened to you when Richard first got his car.
Yeah, I know. I still have the bruises.
This stuff is a bestseller? I can write stuff like this.
You can write stuff like what?
Like this Françoise Dupart. And there's no competition. There are no teenagers writing novels today.
Oh, well, that may be true.
That's why Françoise Dupart's book became a bestseller. Because she's a teenager. Patty, the critics don't care how old you are. It's what you have to say. I have a lot to say. What would you write about? Me. Life with a capital L. I've even got the title. I was a teenager.
Writing requires a great deal of discipline. I mean, it would mean giving up dates, movies.
I need a place to work where I can be completely undisturbed. I know. I'll work in the garret.
The garret?
I think she means the attic. Same thing.
I don't think you can work up there, dear. It's dirty and dusty and a mess.
Gee, that sounds like your room. Sounds perfect. After all, create, you must suffer. Françoise, move over.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Are you sure you want to work up here, Patty? It's going to be awfully uncomfortable. William Shakespeare never complained. Alfred and I are going to the movies tonight. Wouldn't you like to join us? Sorry, Kath. When the creative juices flow, you gotta let them go. You're sure you'll be all right up here? Louisa May Alcott never complained. Everything I want is right here. If there's anything I can do to help, Patty. Nothing, thank you. Creation is the bird of loneliness. Good luck. It has nothing to do with luck. It's pure talent. I was a teenager. By Patty Lane. A teenager. Early one morning, Early one afternoon, early one night.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Mom.
How was school?
Fine. Did a package come for me?
Yes.
It's me. Jenny, I thought of you while I was driving here. Did you, Bernardo? What made you think of me? On the road was a sign that said, soft shoulders. Oh, Bernardo, you have the drollest sense of humor. Hello, Richard.
Where's Patty?
Up in the attic working on her book.
Do you know I've been waiting an hour for her at the bowling alley? That's the third date she's broken in a row.
Oh, she probably forgot about it.
That's a fine excuse. Well, she's gonna have to choose. It's either her career or me. Did you say she was up in the attic?
I don't think she wants to be disturbed.
Well, she's gonna be.
Another reason the road reminded me of you, Jenny. You have dangerous curves. Jenny gives a peal of laughter.
What are you laughing at?
Bernardo just said something funny.
Well, where is he?
He's in my book. He has the most marvelous sense of humor.
When are you gonna finish that, Patty? I've been out bowling by myself and you've been up here laughing by yourself. It doesn't make sense.
It will make sense when my book is finished. I'm going to do for the American teenager what Françoise did for the French teenager.
Well, what did she do for them?
She liberated them. She made the world look at them in a new light.
Well, how long's this liberation gonna take?
Well, about it. You don't write a bestseller overnight. It might take me another week.
Here's your dinner, Patty. What's the matter? Didn't Louisa May Alcott eat? What happened?
I just murdered Reginald.
Hey, Patty, it's 12 o'clock.
I just have to finish this chapter.
Did you write all that?
That's the prologue.
What are you gonna call it? Gone with the Wind?
I thought I'd let the publisher choose the title.
Honey, you know, it isn't all that easy to get something published. I guess if it were, everybody'd write a book. Well, what I'm trying to say is that I really wouldn't count too much on this if I were you.
Papa, will you be home this Saturday?
Well, I think so. Why?
I'm going to be through with the book by then. Would you read it?
Sure, I'd love to.
Thanks.
Well, all right, you finish up and get to bed, huh? Good night, dear.
Good night, Papa. Did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
Stampede. Stampede. It started, Bernardo. Well?
Patty, you know that I love you very much, don't you?
You hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. There's some good things in it. You want my honest criticism?
Of course.
Well, honey, the first rule of good writing is to choose a subject you know something about.
You mean it didn't seem authentic to you? Why?
For one thing, you've never been a teenage nurse among the Pui Indians in the wilds of the Mato Grosso.
Edgar Rice Burroughs wasn't brought by a gorilla in Africa. You create with your imagination. Besides, I researched it.
Yeah, well, that's not the same.
Didn't you like the war scenes?
Yes, I did. They were real and vivid and authentic.
Do you mean that?
I certainly do. I felt the same way about them the first time I read them 20 years ago. They made Hemingway famous.
Oh, it may have a Hemingway flavor, but
Yeah, I know. You were just researching.
Well, what about the character of Jenny? She didn't come from Hemingway.
No, I felt she was more like Joan of Arc, only braver.
You hated everything.
No, I didn't. Now, there were some really fine things in there. The things that were all your own, you know? In fact, for instance, the comedy scene was just wonderful.
The comedy scene?
During the big battle. Remember when the enemies were locked in, what was your phrase? In the throes of mortal and deadly anguish with their eyes caught in fierce combat. And then Jenny comes by with her first aid kit, and they take one look at her and stop fighting and start trying to date her.
That wasn't a comedy scene.
I see.
No, but to show it to you.
Oh, now, Patty, please,
I'm sorry for taking up your valuable time.
What happened?
Oh, it was a disaster.
Was the book that bad?
It was a combination of Hemingway, Salinger, and Superman, only ungrammatical.
Well, it's easy for everybody to sit back and criticize. But I'll tell you this. There's going to be a lot of crow eating around here when my book gets published. Publishers. Repeat. Publishers. Publishers. Here we are. You're not going to send it to a publisher. What did you think I was going to do with it? Well, a lot of authors just put their first book away. They consider it a kind of training. They don't put bestsellers away. This has everything. Love, war, poverty, death, cooking recipes. I mean, you never read a book before where they actually gave you a cooking recipe right in the middle of a chapter, did you? No? Do you know what the bestsellers are? Cookbooks. And I've thrown it in for nothing. 6 of Mom's best recipes. Just wait. I'll show all of you.
Patty, how was everything at school today?
Fine, thank you.
Are you feeling all right?
Fine, thank you.
Now, look, Patty, I know how sensitive the artistic temperament is, but you've had this Iron Curtain up for a week now. I told you I'm sorry if I've hurt your feelings. But if you're going to be an author, then you have to get used to criticism. Besides, I wasn't criticizing you. I was criticizing your book.
Of course. I understand. I'll get it.
Who was it, Kathy?
Telegram for Patty Lane. For me?
Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. It's just a telegram from my publisher. My book's going to be published immediately. They expect it to be a bestseller. If you'll forgive me now, I think I'll retire to my garret.
How did you get the idea for your book?
Well, everyone is always attacking the teenager. When adults think of us, they think of rock and roll, telephones, hamburgers. I wanted to give them a more realistic image. Show them the real us.
Yeah, a brave teenage girl runs away from her home in Detroit to become a nurse among the Poi Poi Indians in the wilds of the Mato Grosso.
Oh, hello, Mr. Lane.
Hello, boys. Hello, Patty.
Hi, Papa.
Alfred's interviewing Patty for the Brooklyn Heights Clarion. The paper's running a front-page story on her.
Gee, that's wonderful.
You know, teenage girl becomes famous author overnight.
I'll bet it must make you feel kind of funny. Me scooping your daughter like this. I mean, you being a newspaper editor, too.
Well, yeah, it does feel a little funny, yeah.
I suppose you're planning a Sunday feature story on her, huh?
Well, we hadn't decided on the day yet.
Our readers would like to know your opinions about your fellow authors. Whom do you admire most?
Ernest Hemingway.
What do you think of T.S. Eliot?
T.S. is long-winded, but very talented.
And Francoise Dupart?
An illiterate French child.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
Will you be going to Hollywood to write the picture?
Probably.
Hello, dear.
Hey, what's cooking? It smells good.
That's me.
Oh.
Is the press conference still going on?
Oh, yeah. I can't understand it.
The book is being published.
Yeah, I know it is, but I don't know why.
Couldn't you have been wrong about it?
It's not very good.
Well, the publisher saw values in it that you didn't see.
You read it. What's your opinion?
It's not very good.
And yet somebody is willing to shell out an advance of $1,000 or $2,000 plus the money it's going to take to publish it. According to the telegram, the contracts are on the way. So I guess we must be wrong. What are we having for dinner tonight?
Crow.
Good evening. My name is Blair of the Fire Publishing Company. I wanted to meet Miss Patricia Lane.
Oh, well, how do you do, Mr. Blair? I'm Patricia's father.
Well, it's an honor, sir, an honor and a privilege. I always say more attention should be paid to the parents of talented writers. Behind every talented writer is a mother, a father, shaping them, molding them. Genius, I always say, is no accident.
No. Well, I'm sorry, but Patricia is out right now.
Oh, well, my fault, sir. I should have telephoned first, but I just happened to be in the neighborhood, and I did want to meet Patricia and to drop the contracts off.
You brought the contracts with you?
Oh, yes. All she has to do is sign them.
Come in, won't you?
Yeah.
This is my niece, Kathy. This is Mr. Blair, Patricia's publisher.
How do you do? Patty will be so sorry she missed you.
Oh, that's all right. She'll be seeing a lot of me. That's a mighty talented young woman. We don't get many manuscripts like hers.
I should think not.
Well, I don't want to detain you, Mr. Lane. I would like to discuss the advance.
Well, we can talk about that if you like. What did you have in mind?
Well, our usual advance is $1,500.
$1,500?
Well, yes, if that is satisfactory to her.
Well, I'm sure that it would be. That's more than satisfactory.
Mr. Blair, do you really feel Patty's book is going to be a bestseller?
There's no doubt about it. That book has got everything. The romance, war, death, cooking recipes. Well, I've got other authors to see tonight, and I'm sure you have business to take care of, Mr. Lane, so if you'll just give me the check, I'll be on my way.
Check?
The $1,500.
You want a $1,500 advance from me?
No, from your daughter.
Oh, from my daughter. This publishing firm of yours, Mr. Blair, it's one of those vanity presses, I take it.
Well, I wouldn't call it that.
I don't care what you call it. The point is that people pay you money to publish their books so they can see their name in print.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, Mr. Lane.
And you'll publish anything that's submitted to you.
Well, actually, Mr. Lane, my business is not with you, it's with your daughter. And she did sign a contract.
Patty signed a contract?
Oh, yes. All of our authors, when they submit their manuscripts to us, sign a contract specifying that if we accept their book for publication, they will be personally responsible for all the cost of the publication thereof. And the contract is airtight. So if you want to talk to anybody, you can talk to my lawyer. Good night, Mr. Lane. Young lady.
Miss Blair, be sure to tell your lawyer that the girl who signed the contract is 16 years old.
What did you say?
I said that you'd made an airtight contract with a minor.
You mean a 16-year-old girl wrote that book?
Well, Hemingway, Solinger, and Betty Crocker wrote some of it.
I ought to sue you for wasting my time. Good night.
You're forgetting something, Mr. Blair.
What?
You promised my daughter that you'd publish her book.
Forget it.
All right, I won't detain you, Mr. Blair. We're both busy men. You have authors to see, and I have to get down to my newspaper.
You wouldn't be, Martin Lane, would you?
Yes?
Not the managing editor of the New York Chronicle?
Yes?
Mr. Lane, the vanity press is a perfectly legitimate branch of the publishing business. We cater to people's dreams, people whose dream it is to see their novel in print.
I'm aware of that.
Yes, well, now I would not want to be unfair about this. Your daughter's book does have a certain naive charm to it. Well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't publish it. At our expense, of course. I suggest a 10-copy press run. That way, Patricia will be satisfied, and she'll never have to know how big the edition was.
Patty has a lot of friends.
Well, all right, 25 copies. 50 copies. 100 copies.
That's a nice round figure.
Boy, Kathy, were you smart not to go? That movie wasn't released. It escaped.
Patty, I want you to meet your publisher. This is Mr. Blair.
Mr. Blair? Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am. I've never been published before. How did you like the book?
I sincerely feel that that book is one of the most unusual works we have ever handled.
Francoise Dupont, je suis arrivée. Boy, being a celebrity is sure rough on the fingers. You must have autographed 100 books. You promised you'd autograph one for me. Okay. Could you put on it, to Ross, from his sister who wrote the book? Sure. Thanks. I promised the kids that I'd bring it to class tomorrow. Your book has certainly created a stir around Brooklyn Heights High.
I'll bet it has.
Created quite a stir around here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I brought the revised contracts.
That's wonderful, Mr. Blair.
You don't mind if I read those first, do you?
Hope so.
Thank you.
Boy, have I got a surprise for you, Mr. Blair. My new book.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they They walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Why don't we skip it tonight, Richard? Amy's parties are always a bore. Well, then you go. I'll stay home and read a book. Let's write a book. Oh, what's so funny about that?
Mom, can't I skip the patrol meeting tonight? I don't feel like going.
I thought Boy Scouts were always supposed to be prepared.
I am. I'm prepared to stay home.
Natalie, children, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. Say, I just left JR. I'm afraid you're in for a kind of a shock. Gang, we've been through a lot together. But I think that we've proved that you can, that we can take it. And now, we've got to be really brave.
Is that you, Martin?
Yeah. Yes, Natalie. Hello, darling.
Richard, you... I wish I could get my hands on whoever invented the PTA. I must have addressed 1 million envelopes today for the luncheon.
Oh, Lucifer. Oh, I'll never get it right. I'm not the type anyway. Hello, Uncle Martin.
Hello, Kath.
Dad, were you a Boy Scout when you were a boy?
Yeah, I sure was.
Gee, I didn't know they had them in those days.
Oh, yeah, we used to go out hunting for buffalo.
Well, then get yourself another date. Goodbye, Richard. Hi, Papa.
Hi, Pat. Problem with Richard?
There's always a problem with Richard. You know, life can be a drag. For me, too. I don't know why I got involved in this play.
Well, I'm sorry you're not all in a happier state of mind. I mean, I'm afraid I've got some very bad news for you.
What's wrong?
Well, I just left JR. I tried to talk him out of it, but you know how stubborn he can be. He said there's nobody can do it but me. Well, that's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous?
Oh, the whole thing. I mean, it's going to be hard enough on me, but it's going to be much harder on the rest of you. I told him that, but once he's got his mind made up, he just doesn't listen.
Martin, what are you talking about?
JR has put me in charge of our overseas bureau. It means we're going to have to live over there for a whole year.
Over where?
I didn't want to go, and I told him how hard it would be on the rest of you to drag yourselves away, but I just couldn't get through to him.
Papa, over where?
We're going to live in Paris.
Paris! Yippee! I'll get a pen.
I thought you'd all hate the idea.
Oh, I hate it. It's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to this family.
Oh, what do you know?
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
able to get us packed and out of here in 2 weeks?
To go to Paris? Watch me.
I'm really amazed. I thought I knew you all so well. I told JR, look, I'm willing to make the sacrifice, but my family will never sit still for it. Natalie's got her clubs and civic affairs. The girls have their boyfriends and school activities, and Ross has his Boy Scouts.
Well, I can be civic in France. I can't wait to go to Dior's.
Now, take it easy. We're going to be over there for quite a while. Hey, there's that book I was looking for last week.
Dad, is there any room for my ham set?
Gee, I'm sorry, son. We're going to have to put it in storage.
But how do I keep in touch with everybody?
Send them postcards.
Mom, my sled, skis, and tennis rackets.
Go into storage.
Storage? I'll need them over there.
Anything you need, we'll rent. We're sending enough over there now to supply the Fifth Army. We have to put our foot down someplace. Oh, see, listen, where are my golf clubs?
Oh, I put them with the things that are going into storage.
Storage? That's a good idea.
All the suitcases are up, Aunt Natalie.
Oh, good. You and Patty can start packing.
I can't believe I'll be seeing Father again.
Oh, well, that's one of life's little ironies. He's leaving for India, but we'll manage to get him back to Paris for a visit.
Papa, what are the boys like over in Europe?
Like the boys anywhere else. Interested in girls.
That's good enough for me. Me in Paris.
Oh, and it's not just going to be Paris. I mean, all those European countries are only an hour or two apart by plane, so we'll be making trips everywhere.
I can't wait. Come on, Kath. The sooner we finish packing, the sooner we get out of here. Boy, I can't believe it. I'm going to be international.
Mrs. Lane? I'm Will Cameron with the Superior Real Estate Company. Mr. Lane said it'd be all right to show the house.
Oh, yes, of course.
This is Mrs. Atkinson, and this is the Atkinson astronaut.
Brooks. How do you do? How do you do? Won't you come in? Brooks. Brooks, put that away.
My, it's charming. Charming. How many bedrooms do you have?
3. The girls share a room. My son has his room, and my husband and I have our room.
You mustn't touch that, Brooks. You're renting this unfurnished, aren't you?
Yes.
That's fine. I have some good pieces I'd like to put in here. This furniture is sweet, but definitely wrong for this room. Don't you think?
I hadn't noticed.
Where is the Hotel Splendid? Où est l'Hôtel Splendide?
Où est l'Hôtel Splendide?
Do you have any money? Avez-vous de l'argent?
Avez-vous d'argent?
I would like a cup of coffee with sugar and cream. Je voudrais une tasse de café avec du sucre et de la crème.
Je voudrais une tasse de café avec du sucre et de la crème.
Boy, you have a terrible accent.
What do you expect? I'm not even there yet. Let's try it out. Pretend we're in a restaurant. I'll be a waitress. I'll be outside looking in the window.
We're all eating together.
I'm not hungry.
Bonjour, madame. Mademoiselle. Monsieur. Voulez-vous avoir une table?
Sure.
Oui. Bon. Ici, s'il vous plaît. Que voulez-vous en manger?
What'd she say?
She says, what do you want to eat?
Poison.
That's pronounced poisson.
I wondered.
Bonsoir, tout le monde. Well, speaking French okay now?
Hello, darling. Oh, this was a wonderful idea.
Well, I thought we might as well be able to greet them in their native tongue when we arrive. How's the packing going?
Well, it's funny. The more I do, the more there is to do. I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to be through on time.
Don't worry, we will be. All we have to do is follow this checklist.
I hope we're not disturbing you. I have some people here to see the house.
No, not at all.
These are the O'Briens, the Lane family.
How do you do?
I know the way. We'll just show ourselves around.
Fine.
Hi, Rich.
I looked for you after school. We all went over to the malt shop, but you'd vanished into thin air.
I'm sorry, Rich. I have a million things to do around here.
I thought maybe something had happened to you. I rushed over here as soon as I finished my malt.
Ouch.
What's the matter?
That's where I had my shot.
Remember the last time you were supposed to get a shot?
And Kathy got it by mistake, and I tried to keep her date with Ted and my date with you.
And we lost the dance contest because the judge thought Kathy was a better dancer.
Yeah. We've had a lot of laughs together.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
What's nothing?
Well, nothing is, I don't want you going out with those Europeans. You know what they're like.
No, I don't. That's why I'm going over there to find out.
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm teasing. I'll only be away a year.
That's almost 5% of our lives up to now. Anyway, once you've been to France, well, I'll look like nothing.
You are wrong, mon cher. You will look like something. Patty will never forget.
Hey, cut it out.
Come to Patty. I will take you to the Casbah. Kiss me, you handsome devil.
Stop it. I mean, it's all right to joke about it while you're here, but it won't be so funny once you're over there. My buddy's girlfriend went to Spain and...
Spain! España! Land of the brave bulls, the handsome caballero. Querida, has anyone ever told you you have the most beautiful eyes, like black olives?
My eyes are green.
You have the most beautiful eyes, like green olives.
Hey, what's the matter with you? You haven't even left yet, and you're acting like a nut. Come on, let's go eat.
Are you hungry, darling? I will fix for you an Hungarian omelet right away. As soon as I get this diamond bracelets off. They are so heavy I can't lift the frying pan. There, darling. That's better, darling. You will love my omelet. I use make eggs.
Did anybody ever tell you you're a kook? Patty?
Yes, Richard?
You'll come back to me, won't you?
Sure. I'll come back to you.
I don't care what country you're in. Remember, you're my girl.
Hello. I'm from the telephone company. There's a phone to be disconnected.
I guess so.
The upstairs phone?
Oh, that's my phone.
Not anymore. It's disconnected as of today.
Disconnected? Took me 16 years to get that phone. Hello, Ross. Hi, Nicky. I just wanted to say goodbye. I was just coming over to say goodbye to you. Were you really? That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard of. In the middle of all this excitement about going to Paris and everything, you thought of me. Sure. I don't have much to do. Please don't fall in love with any of those French girls. I won't. They'll fall in love with you. You're a very attractive boy, you know. I know. Hi, Ross. Oh, hi, Billy. Well, I'll be running along. You two men probably have important things to discuss. Yeah. I'll see you, Nicky. I'll see you, Ross. Have a good time. Sure. Thanks. James. Yeah. James. When do you leave? Tomorrow night. The fellas in the Bear Patrol got together and chipped in to give you this. Oh, gee, thanks, Billy. It does everything but send out the Morse code.
Oh, will you thank the guys for me? Sure. Will won't miss you. I'll miss the guys. I know I haven't been to all the meetings lately, but I'll make up for it when I get back.
We're starting a junior life-saving course next week.
Oh, boy! I'll be in Paris.
Lucky you. Well, so long, Ross.
So long, Billy.
Everything's out of the basement.
Good. Will you help me with this? I could use about 6 more hands.
Sure. What are you going to do with all this stuff?
Well, I'm sending all the canned goods over to the church, and the perishables we're giving to Aunt Martha. Oh, will you fill this carton?
Mm-hmm. Got any mustard?
I said fill the carton.
Aunt Martha's trying to diet anyway.
Come in.
Hello, Mrs. Lane.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Papadopoulos.
This is for you.
Well, I didn't order anything. We're leaving, you know.
We'll need another carton.
There's one in the living room.
I know you're leaving. That's why this is for you. It's
Bye.
a gift. Bye.
A going away present.
No, a come back soon present. I had a nice speech to go with the fruit, but I'm not much of a speaker, so you'll just have to take the fruit.
I don't know what to say.
Well, probably nobody told you, but the whole neighborhood is pretty unhappy about your going. It's the same that nice people have to leave.
We'll be back.
Oh, sure. But meantime, who's going to take charge of the TPA lunches and the Ladies Auxiliary Club? My daughter goes to Patty's school. I know what you and Mr. Lane do for the school. My wife's in the Ladies Auxiliary Club. She talks a lot about you. You see, we're not just losing a customer. We're losing a friend.
I'm going to cry in a minute.
Don't cry on the fruit. It'll spoil it. Goodbye, Miss Lane.
Goodbye, Mr. Papadopoulos, and thank you.
Hello. Oh. This is the kitchen.
Would you pass the salt, please? Now, I've arranged to have the first few days off so that I can show you around Paris. And there's a marvelous sightseeing boat called Le Bateau Mouche that goes around the Seine. Could I have the mayonnaise, please? On the first day, I thought we'd have lunch at the Eiffel Tower. There's a wonderful restaurant there. Before the top, you know. Well, how's that sound?
Great. That sneak Sue Ellen bought a new dress and invited Richard to a dance at her father's country club.
What's Sue Ellen's dress got to do with having lunch at the Eiffel Tower?
Nothing. I just knew this was going to happen.
I don't think you have to worry about Richard.
Who's worried about Richard? I'm worried about Sue Ellen.
Good evening, folks. Enjoy your dinner. We won't bother you. Now, this is the dining room, and out here we have the terrace.
I wonder if he'd like some mustard.
You were in a hurry to rent the house.
Say, there's nothing wrong, is there?
Of course not. What could be wrong?
I don't know.
Anybody seen the knife Billy gave me? Yes, that makes 8 times.
Martin, I wish you could have seen Mr. Papadopoulos. He's such a nice man. But you don't find him like that in Europe.
Natalie, he came from Europe.
I don't care if he did.
That's for me. Excuse me. Hello, Ted.
Hi, Kathy. Am I early?
No, we were just finishing dinner. Sit down.
Tomorrow's the big day, huh?
Yes. This will be our last night in the house.
Kathy, do you have to go?
What?
I mean, well, this is such a bad time and everything, with the play coming on.
Oh, well, you can get someone else for my part.
Well, I don't want to. The only reason I agreed to direct this play was because you were going to be in it.
The only reason I agreed to be in it was because you were going to direct it.
Well, what if you didn't go? Well, couldn't you stay with relatives?
I am staying with relatives.
Oh, I forgot.
See, you know, there's a plane that flies from France to England, and it carries your car and everything. You just land at a little English airport and drive right off to London.
Sue Ellen's dresses are strapless.
Try some more fruit. It's delicious.
Anybody seen the knife Billy gave me? That makes 9 times.
Oh, Kathy, I was thinking that on our first free weekend, we could all drive up to Stratford. Maybe we could even go punting on the Thames. You know, in England, they don't punt with a football, they punt with boats.
She could have at least waited till I was out of the country. My body's not even cold yet.
See, isn't anybody even interested in what we're going to be doing over there?
Of course, darling. Try a pear. Mr. Papadopoulos says it's...
I don't want to hear any more about Mr. Papadopoulos or Richard or that dress or the knife or any...
Congratulations, folks. You just rented your house to the McGurskys.
Are you all ready, dear?
Yeah.
Father should be here any minute. He wants to allow plenty of time to get to the airport. Where are Kathy and Ross?
They're coming. You know something, Mom? I don't like the idea of a bunch of strangers living here. I don't like the idea. I'm ready, Aunt Natalie. Has Ted called? The phone's disconnected. I forgot. Ted said I was the only one who could really play that part.
They'd better find someone else because in less than 2 hours, we're going to be on our way to Paris. You ready?
No. You won't hate me if I tell you something, will you?
Of course not.
You may think I'm chicken, but I don't want to go. Brother, you have a lot of company. I'll miss the life-saving course if I go.
There's no if about it. Now listen, all of you. This trip may have sounded more exciting in the beginning than it does now. I think if we told your father we didn't want to go, he'd have made other arrangements, but it's too late for that now. So, let's pull ourselves together.
Yippee! We're going to Paris.
That's better. Well, let's check and make sure all the windows are locked.
Natalie, children, I've got some bad news for you. Hello. Hello, everybody. Say, guess what happened? I just left JR, and, well, I'm afraid you're in for a kind of a shock. Oh, boy.
Is that you, Marcus? We're all ready, aren't we, children?
Yeah. Can't wait to get on the plane. Neither can I. Let's hurry.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you this.
Is anything wrong?
I'm afraid there is. I just left JR, and well, I tried to argue with him, but you know how he is once he gets his mind made up. Oh, boy, I hate to do this to you.
Do what, Martin?
Well, JR is absolutely panicky about the idea of my going away.
Papa, what are you trying to say?
All I can do is ask you to forgive me. We're not going to Paris.
Sure, Rich. I love Amy's party. Why don't you pick me up at about 8 o'clock? Oh, Lucifer, the sweetness of dawn is in your lips. The waning moon is in your eyes. I was born for this part.
Were you, darling?
Hey, I gotta go.
Where are you rushing off to?
The scout meeting. I don't want to be late. I'm the new patrol leader.
Hello, family.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Uncle Martin.
More envelopes?
For next week's luncheon. Isn't it lovely? It's hard to explain, but suddenly all of us appreciate everything more.
Well, I gotta go now, Richard. Papa's home. Right. Bye. Papa, you're the greatest.
Isn't it marvelous? suddenly I'm a hero. And you know what I did? I didn't take my family to Europe.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
There. It looks beautiful if I say so myself.
I hope it wins first prize this year, Miss Lane.
It had better. I'm tired of Mrs. Davis winning every year. It's giving me an inferiority complex.
She'll never be able to beat this cake.
I hope you're right. Oh, dear, I'm late for the hairdresser. You can leave as soon as you've finished, Mrs. Williams.
I just have the girls' room to do. Looks like they played the Army-Navy game up there.
See you Friday.
Boy, that new math teacher is a real wuzza-wuzza. What's a wuzza-wuzza? Our new math teacher. Hey, Cuckoo! Beauty. It's the best cake Mom ever baked. Perhaps she wants to save it for dinner. There's plenty. Here, live a little. It's wonderful. I told you. Let's cut. You want to go down for soda? No, thank you, Patty. I have some letters to write. Hi, Mama.
I didn't know you were home. Do me a favor, will you?
Sure.
I have an appointment at the hairdresser, and I'm late. There's a banana sponge cake in the kitchen. Take it over to the church bazaar for me, will you? It has to be entered for 6 o'clock. I'll see you there later. Bye.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
No. What do you think you're doing? In my state of shock, do I know? It'll kill Mom if her cake doesn't win the prize. How could I forget that tonight was the annual church bazaar? You saw food and everything else went out of your head? Mrs. Davis has won the cake baking contest every year for the past 5 years. Mom swore she was going to beat her this year. Oh. I wonder if you can enter half a cake.
You're home. You better take that cake. Right. What happened?
Mice?
How could you do this to your own mother?
I thought it was just a cake. I didn't know it was the cake.
She's been waiting all year for that contest. That's her favorite recipe.
Would you happen to know the recipe?
Well, I watched her make it, but...
Mrs. Williams, how would you like to bake a cake?
Oh, no. That wouldn't be honest.
Oh, why not? It'd be baked in the Lane oven.
I couldn't do it.
Please, Mrs. Williams, you know how much this means to my mother.
I shouldn't do it.
But you will? Oh.
You get upstairs and clean your room. There. That should win the first prize. I'm leaving now. Good luck.
Cool.
Piece of cake?
Don't touch that.
Why not? It's great.
We're slashed.
What are you complaining about? We're loaded with cake.
Do you know what you just did, you coolie? You ruined your mother.
What are you talking about?
You just ate Mom's entry in the church bazaar. Patty. All right, one of her entries.
Gee, I'm sorry. How was I supposed to know?
Oh, it takes a pretty stupid person not to know an ordinary cake from a prize cake. Now what do we do? Perhaps we could get Mrs. Williams to come back to scratch it. She works a one-day week. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Okay, we have 2 hours.
For what?
To bake a cake. I've never baked a cake. Neither have I. That's where we have the big advantage. Originality. What can we lose?
The contest.
Is there a cookbook around here? Right in front of you. There you go. There must be dozens of cakes.
Look under prize winners.
Orange raisin cake. Fruit cake.
How about a fruit cake?
Mom baked a banana sponge cake with chocolate in it. Don't you think she'd be a little suspicious if it turned into a fruit cake? Tutti frutti cake. Spice cake. Here we are. Banana sponge cake. Kathy, you give the directions and we'll bake the cake. Right. We need 2 9-inch layer pans. Melt 4 ounces chocolate.
I'll get the chocolate and the milk.
I'll get all the other things. Take a cup of milk. A cup of flour. A teaspoon of salt. Separate eggs.
Okay.
You're a giant. And separate the white from the yolk.
Why? You eat it all at the same time, don't you?
Come on. Good. I smell something burning. Add the chocolate to the milk and the flour. Smells pretty good. I think it's beginning to be a cake. 2 cups of sugar. 2 cups of sugar.
What's a tisp of vanilla?
A tisp is a teaspoon.
Why don't they say so?
4 egg whites. Whites are already in. I better add more eggs. Beat until fluffy, but not dry. Okay. I'll get it. You keep going. Hi, Mrs. Davis.
Hello, Patty. Is your mother at home?
No, she's at the hairdresser.
Really? Well, I thought she'd be baking her cake for the bazaar.
She already baked it.
Well, I just dropped by to show her mine and to take a peek at hers.
I don't think she'd want anybody to see her cake right now.
Oh, is she entering something special this year?
Yeah. It's kind of a dark horse.
Oh, I'm afraid mine is just the usual. Well, I wish her luck. I know how much winning means to her. She seems so disappointed that I win every year, poor dear. We even made a little bet on it this year.
A bet?
Yes. If my cake wins, your mother and father take us to dinner in the theater. And if your mother's cake wins, we take them to dinner in the theater. Well, you'll tell her I dropped by to wish her luck, won't you?
I will.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you at the bazaar.
We need a bigger cake. Why? Because Mrs. Davis was just here and she's entering a giant. This is going to look like a pygmy. Okay. A lot more flour. Milk. Give me some more eggs. Well, I think we've got all the ingredients in. And then some. Maybe a few raisins would make it taste better. What do you think? I don't think anything could hurt that. I better get the raisins. Chocolate chips are always good. What about a few nuts? Sure, let's live a little. Nuts, raisins, chocolate chips. I forgot the banana. I think it's supposed to be sliced. Oh. They'll never know the difference. I guess we put it in the oven. You didn't mix it. Oh, yeah. It's working. We've done it. Do we have to eat it? If I'd have known baking a cake was this easy, I'd have done it before this. Ross, you go check on the oven. See what the temperature is. 325. Perfect. The batter should be ready. Our cake just went into orbit. Okay, in the oven. You know something? This is the lickiest looking cake Mom's ever made. How long do we have to wait? Bake 25 minutes. Tell you what, while it's baking, why don't we run and get dressed so we can rush right over to the bazaar? Right. We wouldn't want to keep them waiting for this. Let's cut. I'll get it. Hi, Richie.
Have you looked in the mirror? What have you been doing?
Just baking a cake.
You?
What's the matter with that?
I don't know. I haven't tasted the cake yet.
And you won't. It's going to be entered in the competition at the bazaar.
You're entering a cake in a competition?
Well, it's really my mother's cake. We're entering it in her name.
Who's we're?
Well, Kathy, Ross, and I.
The three of you baked it?
Yeah, it was kind of a community effort.
Brother, does your mother know you're bringing all this joy into her life?
No, and she mustn't find out.
She won't find out from me.
I knew I could count on you.
And you know why she won't find out from me?
Sure, because you're a loyal, trustworthy friend.
Wrong, because I'm chicken. I'm not going to that bazaar.
But you promised to take me.
Patty, you're putting an entry into a contest illegally. I'm not going to become an accessory after the fact. I'll write to you. Bye.
Who was it? Nobody. Men. Richard? Yeah, The Cowardly Lion. Isn't he taking you to the bazaar? No. He's afraid if he's seen with me, the FBI might crack down on him. You think he's right? About the FBI? No, about what we're doing. I mean, is it wrong? Yes. But at least it's for the right reason. You know something, cousin? Sometimes you're a real comfort to me. It's mutual. Let's get rolling. I want to see what that cake looks like. One minute to go. It is! Hey, do something! I'll bet it's the biggest cake they get. Yeah. Must have put in too much of something. Maybe we could cut it in half and enter it twice. It won't look so bad once we get the icing on. I forgot all about the icing. All right. Ross, you better get some aprons. Icings. How does this sound? Boiled white icing with cocoa. Terrible. It's gonna taste great. 4 tablespoons cocoa, 2 cups sugar, 1 cup water. Russ, you get the cocoa and the water. I hope it doesn't explode. They have a booby price. Let's cut it in half. That's that. No, it isn't. Don't you know the Lane motto? Never naive, gay up, yay. What does that mean? Never give up in Pig Latin. I need a banana sponge cake in a hurry.
Oh, what kind of banana sponge cake would you like?
Do you have anything good enough to win a prize?
Oh, well, all of our cakes are good enough to win prizes. How big did you want it?
Oh, bigger than Mrs. Davis's.
What?
Oh, how about this big? Oh, that's beautiful.
That's $4.75.
Oh, don't put it in that. I brought my own box.
Anybody home?
Hello, Uncle Martin.
Oh, hello, Kathy. I thought you'd be at the bazaar.
We got held up a little.
Well, where's your Aunt Natalie?
She's at the hairdresser.
And Patty?
I have no idea where Patty is. She raced out and said she'd see me at the bazaar.
Well, I'm hungry. Let's go see what's in the kitchen.
No.
I'm not hungry?
I mean, why don't I fix you something?
Well, that's nice of you, Kath, but all I want is some milk and cookies.
Oh, I get it.
No, don't bother.
It's no bother. Really, it isn't, Uncle Martin.
Kathy, are you feeling all right?
Yes, fine. It'll take the Army engineers to clean up this. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yourself.
How was your day at the office?
Fine. How was your day at home?
Okay. You know how it is.
No. How is it?
You tell him, Kath.
Tell me what?
It's nothing, really.
Kath, if you have a problem, I think maybe you'd better tell me. Now, do you?
Well, yes and no.
Tell me about the yes part.
I don't know if I should. But I guess I'd better. You see, it's like this.
Do you have a banana sponge cake?
Certainly. How big a cake did you want?
Bigger than Mrs. Davis's.
Anybody home?
We'd like to enter this in the contest.
Fine. Here's a number for it.
Thank you. Mrs. Lane baked it.
What is it?
It's a cake.
Oh.
I'd like to enter a cake.
All right.
I'd like to enter it under the name of Natalie Lane.
Here's your number.
Thank you.
Is there still time to enter a cake?
Yes.
It's for Natalie Lane.
She's been busy, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Hello, darling. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, have you? Well, I've been looking all over for you, too.
I think we'd better get started. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. The cake contest is about to begin.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, Patty, did you get my cake here all right?
To tell you the truth, Mom.
To tell you the truth, Natalie, you don't have a thing to worry about. You're going to win.
Patty! Patty!
Richard, you came.
Yeah, I decided you might need me.
You're all heart.
Have they caught up with you yet?
Of course, now. Everything's going fine. We haven't a thing to worry about. Come on.
Hello, Martin. Natalie, have you decided where you're taking us to eat tomorrow night?
Why don't we wait until the judge picks the winner, Mrs. Davis?
Oh, we're very fortunate this year in the selection of our judge. A really great expert has agreed to serve, Mr. Hubert Brown.
Yes. Shall we begin?
Mom, let's get out of here.
That's a marvelous idea. I'll take us all out for a Chinese dinner.
They haven't even picked the winner yet.
No, but they picked the loser.
Interesting. A little lumpy. Better luck next time. Here's a pretty one. And it retails for $4.75. $6.25. Our special of the week. Oh, look at these masterpieces.
One of those is mine.
We've come down to the experts.
I think one of them's mine.
No, it isn't, Mom. I faked out on you.
The texture is perfect. Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
The texture is perfect, and the flavor is marvelous. This is the winner. Where's number 8?
I do.
Where did you buy it?
I baked it. When I got home, I found my kitchen was a disaster area, and then Mr. Brown was nice enough to call and tell me about the unusual run on banana sponge cake.
Oh, speech!
I never could have done it without the help of my family.
Is that a beauty? And I baked it with my own little hands, with a little help from your mother.
Oh, I contributed a little know-how.
come on. The meeting's gonna start in a few minutes. Gee, sis, I sure appreciate your baking this for the Scouts' party. Boy Scouts have to eat, too. I hope they enjoy it. They will.
We'll all help you.
Where is everybody? Anybody home?
Oh, no!
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind.